Hey, what is up YouTube? Jirachi here. Today for our Monday Monotype video we have Psychic, the most hyper-offensive type in my opinion. Well, it's pretty much generally known as the most hyper-offensive type in Monotype right now. It took me a little bit getting used to, like I lost a few, I think I went 1-3 in my first 4 fights and I ended up finishing out 7-4, so I won 6 of the last 7. I actually made it pretty far in a tournament too. I made it to like the battle 4 or 5th in a tournament, so you'll see some of those fights in this. I actually got some, there was a lot of bad type matchups. I fought a lot of Steel, fought a Dark type team, I fought a Ghost type team. I'll try to show some of those because this team, I feel like its matchups are terrible, but it's still a really strong type. But so we have Mew, Victini, Deoxys-Speed, Alakazam, Jirachi, and Latios. Up first we have Mew here. Mew Mewnium Z obviously sets up Psychic Terrain because it summons Genesis Supernova, which summons the Psychic Terrain. And it's great to use this thing because you get a chance to Nasty Plot, switching against something that you can't get one-shotted, and they usually want to try to switch into like one of their counters. You can either go for a Nasty Plot if you think you'll be faster than them, or go right for the Mew Mewnium Z Psychic Boost move, and then absolutely truck with their switching. Even if it's like resisted, it'll still do good damage, get stabbed. Genesis Supernova. Ice Beam and then Dark Pulse gives you decent coverage. You can run other things if your team wants it instead. And Nasty Plot, like I said, there's a lot of opportunities to set up with Mew. This thing's definitely one of the MVPs of this team. It's definitely either this or Victini. Those two carry this team super hard. For its investment here, we run Speed Investment because after a Nasty Plot, your special attack's already pretty high. If you want to hit a certain calc, obviously feel free to run the Special Attack Nature instead of the Speed. Alright, up next we got Victini, Choice Scarf set here with an Attack Nature, V-Create, U-Turn, Bolt Strike, and Trick. U-Turn may seem a little like off on a more hyper-offensive team. It is nice to get the momentum, but you are switching in to like stuff, and usually Victini will be going fast with a Choice Scarf. You could run Choice Band and then run like, this is what I would do. Run Choice, I don't want to switch this up like middle of like my battles. I want to keep it the same throughout all of them that I'm going to show you. But if you run Choice Band on Victini and then either Choice Scarf Jirachi or Choice Scarf Latios, it gives your team a bit better speed control if you run on Latios. And Jirachi's obviously pretty annoying. It's kind of hard to get off the set. We'll talk about that in a minute. But maybe switch up. I would probably switch up Victini to a Choice Band, although it is still really good with Choice Scarf. You'll see it clutch in one of the fights. Victory Star, it obviously is supposed to help your accuracy out. I still missed plenty of Bolt Strikes, and I think I missed the V-Create as well. But Trick is super nice to trick stuff on like Ferrothorn, Chansey, that obviously doesn't want to have a Choice Scarf. Up next, we have pretty much our Suicide lead and Deoxys-Speed with a Light Clay. I run Light Screen and Reflect. You can run something like Psycho Boost instead of any of these options if you don't want to run one of them. You're the fastest Taunt user in the game besides stuff like Mega Sableye and other priority users. And Stealth Rock's obviously super helpful on an offensive team, helping you net KOs that you wouldn't be able to reach anyway. Obviously, we're running the Speed Nature here. You want to get as fast as possible. And then we run some HP bulk to stay alive. You can run some more defensive bulk or maybe go for some special attack investment if you want to run like Psycho Boost or even something else like that. Go for it. I think this is what works the best. Be careful when using Deoxys-Speed. A lot of times if you go for a taunt, they either go for a damaging move or they switch into a good situation. You can lose the fights very early on, especially as a hyper-offensive team. You usually don't have the kind of bulk or defensive stuff to wall out a setup sweeper. Alright, up next we do have our one thing that kind of counters that in Alakazam, which is a Focus Sash set. Counter, Psychic, Focus Blast, and Shadow Ball. Focus Blast and Shadow Ball gives you perfect neutral coverage. Psychic's a great stab, and Counter works amazing. They set up, you get down to your Sash, and you counter back. Also, Magikarp's super nice that your Sash won't be broken from Stealth Rocks and Spikes and whatnot. And then for his investment, we have Speed and then Special Attack. And we do invest into Speed with the Nature because it is important to outspeed as much stuff as possible. Even with the Focus Sash, you want to be getting its second attack off afterwards to finish them off and whatnot. And with Psychic Terrain up, you won't have to worry about priority moves. Alright, up next we have kind of a controversial member with the King's Rock Jirachi set with Serene Grace and Thunder Wave, and then some moves that'll make you flinch, and then Dre Punch to round out some nice coverage and get some HP back. I do run HP and an attack on this set. I run 32 speed EVs to outspeed stuff like Garchomps if they're not running any speed investment, if they're more of a defensive set and whatnot. And that's also outspeed Space 95s. Alright, and then we have Latios for our last member with Life Orb and Levitate, and then, like I said, you can run a Choice Scarf set instead, even with Defog and Roost. I mean, not Roost, then you probably run Hidden Power Fire, but then you also have Draco Meteor and Psychic. I almost never click Defog anyway, so you might be able to get rid of that for Hidden Power Fire. This team kind of struggles against Steel as it is, besides Victini, but it would be nice to have another option on Latios. But now we'll go over some fights, guys. I think you'll like what we had happen in these. We had a lot of bad matchups against stuff like Steel. I think there's against one against Dark or something. So we'll go check out some bad matchups. Alright, so for our first fight here against Dima Seb, he has a Bug-type team, so you're already seeing some pretty bad matchups here. He has a Pinsir, you probably assume, Mega Pinsir and regular Choice, probably a Choice Band, Scizor, Volcarona, Shuckle, Scolipede, and a level 5 Panico. Probably want to make it level 1 for the stupid sturdy set and do some shenanigans with that. But when you see something like this, not Alakazam, Victini's obviously going to have to do some work in this fight. Mew's going to have to do something, it's kind of a bad matchup with it, and Deoxys-Speed's going to have to be able to shut down their stuff that's going to want to set up. That's what we do here in the start. You see stuff like Volcarona and Shuckle, you want to kind of taunt that down, and even like the Pinocchio, you want to do something stupid like that. I set up a light screen here to be able to tank this. Even still does massive damage, so it's a super effective stab. We get a chance to set up Stealth Rocks, we get them to 4% HP, which kind of sucks. I ended up taunting here again just in case he goes for a Quiver Dance. Really don't want to do that. He goes for another Fire Dance just to finish me off. He gets a special attacking boost. Wish I would have died the turn before, but that's fine. Go in the Jirachi here and we Thunder Wave after he hits the Bug Buzz. We do luckily hit here. However, we don't get a single bit of hacks here. He gets right through our hacks, and we get Flame Body burned, and we go into 5% HP. And we get killed there. So that really sucks. However, now his Volcarona is crippled, being paralyzed, and is slow. We can go to Victini here, and we just V-Create, and even though it's... Oh, I said his neutral damage, even though he's Fire type, because he's Bug, obviously. We don't get damaged too bad here. He Mega Evolves, and I didn't think he had Earthquake on his set, but he does. I thought maybe he'd Swords Dance, thinking maybe I'd switch, but he goes right for the damage, so good on him there. I end up having the Draco Meteor here, nothing else, I didn't really trust anything else going in here. Mew is slower than it, but now he's able to go into a Scizor, and that's kind of annoying. We do switch. Actually, I think I just in case he went for damage move turn 1 instead of a Swords Dance. So he's actually a Swords Dance, not a Choice Band set. I thought maybe he would go for like a damaging move right away since he'd be Choice Band. Besides letting Latios die, knowing I have Alakazam to counter it. He goes for a second Swords Dance here. I'm like, dude, I guess he doesn't know that, but I'm going to do against him. But I now get a chance to go into Alakazam here. And he goes for the Bullet Punch, gives him the Sash. And I get a chance to counter, so it's nice to get that off. I wasted almost all my Alakazam now. Goes into a Shuckle. And we Psychic here, does about 35% HP, which is not bad. He does take us out with Infestation, though. So now we have Mew, and it actually has a pretty good, easy chance of winning this here. I got a chance to Nasty Plot. He goes for the Toxic, however, I don't think he can really stall out long enough. I do Synchronize him there, and now we get a chance to go for the Psychic. I wanted to save my Z move for the Scolipede in case, even if it protected, simply because it would do that. I almost accidentally didn't realize this thing was level 5. I thought it was maybe like an Eviolite weird set. But it's level 5, so it's obviously like a sturdy trick set or something like that. And here we go for the Z move and just try to finish him off. Luckily, he didn't protect and try to go for some speed boosting move. I guess maybe he gave up there. Maybe he wasn't sub, because if he was sub, he could have easily stalled me out there after he got the speed up. But that was a good first fight here. We overcame the bad type matchup. We relied a lot on Mew at the end there after we cleaned up some of the threats. And Alakazam came out and countered the one thing that could sweep through my team in Scizor. Alright, let's go check out the next fight. Alright, so for our second fight here against Soy Diego Campos, this fight was so dumb. You'll see what happens here. He has a Keldeo, Kingdra Cloyster, Volcarona, Tapu Fini, and Mega Gyarados. And when you see a team like Water, he doesn't really have a Water setter besides someone who maybe uses Rain Dance, which is kind of weird to see. He was running his Keldeo going to Victini here. We missed the Bolt Strike turn 1, so it's like, alright, that's great. I thought maybe he'd be Choice Scarf, but apparently not, because else he would have outsped if he was Speed Nature, which most are. We do go into Alakazam here. We do go for a Psychic now that I know he's not Choice Scarf, and take him out. He goes into his Gyarados though, and I think, okay, he'll probably eventually go for an attacking move as long as he doesn't flinch, but guess what happens? He flinches. He actually goes for some Dragon Dances, and I keep countering, so now he's going to keep going for Dragon Dances. I think after the one after this, I actually go for the Focus Blast, thinking, okay, let's make a pro play here, thinking he'd go for another one, and we go for the Focus Blast, and we miss. So there's that bit of hacks. He goes for the Waterfall, got another Sash. I wanted to counter here, knowing he would attack next turn. We flinched. That would have easily KO'd. Obviously, since it does double damage, that takes him out, and there's nothing we can do against it now. So you got some major hacks, and he just goes through. That crit obviously didn't matter, but it's just rubbing salt in the wounds at this point. But it's just absolute garbage. Gets another critical there. This guy is Hacks Lord, Lord of all hacks. I'm gonna make a second video just extract. I want to add up all the crits and hacks in this fight, because it's quite a bit for how short this fight is too. That's the nice thing about Psychic. I'm actually gonna show you guys like 6 fights, which is like two or more than usual, because the fights actually go pretty quickly. But as you see there's not much I can really do about that. We should have easily been able to kill that thing and have a good chance of winning the fight. Maybe not won the whole thing, but it would have at least been a lot closer than that. But on to the next fight, guys. Alright, up next we have another bad matchup against the Fairy types, Colors of Magic. I think I played this person before. I think they were actually running the same exact team. Mega Diancie, Togekiss, Magiarna, probably Sulfest, Clefable, Azumarill, and Tapu Koko. So already a bad matchup. We leave Deoxys because I want to set up Stealth Rocks, and I'm a complete idiot here and forget that Diancie is a Magic Bounce user, and I end up getting taunted on myself. Diamond Storm does about half, raises his defense. I have to end up switching into Jirachi here. Goes for the Diamond Storm, does about 20%, and he switches into his Azumarill, and I should have switched out after this, because Jirachi actually puts in pretty good work against most of his team, but we Thunder Wave, and of course we don't get that pair of hacks. Why would we get that? He crits us with Knockoff, probably would have killed anyway. And he says thank you very much in the chat, so that was nice of him. We do get some para hacks there and go for the Volt Strike. That does hit and connects and takes out his Azumarill. Goes into his Diancie now, and Volt Strike here again. There's a little bit of half. We paralyze, but of course we don't get the hacks. And then that 1% HP, he gets his defense boost, and then we miss the Volt Strike on the second attempt. So that Victory Star ability not coming up too big for us just yet. But he faints there. I'm going to Mew here. Go for a nasty plot, thinking, okay, I can probably tank at least one hit here. Get down to about 55% HP. Go for the Psychic and take it out. I can go for a Genesis Supernova here. However, he goes in his Tapu Koko. He's obviously faster and is just able to take me out with Brave Bird. Actually, 13%. My bad. I do believe I go for the Z move here to take this thing out. This fight's actually a lot closer than I thought it would end up being, especially with some of the hacks against me. I think it ends up being a 2-0. Goes into his Togekiss here. Gets, of course, that stupid Choice Scarf Togekiss set with Air Slash and whatnot. Air Slash comes out here against Latios and flinches us. And I kind of sacked off Latios here. Not much he can really do. Go for the Psychic. Get some good damage off with the Psychic Terrain effects also being up. But now our Psychic Terrain is over, which is kind of disappointing because now I can try to set up my screen for a Deoxys. I set up the light screen, obviously, so then maybe Alakazam could tank an extra hit or something like that. Set up Stealth Rocks as well. That's not going to do too much against the rest of his team, but I'm sure that's I could really have done. Go for the Psychic there, takes him out. Luckily, we don't get flinched. Turn 1 there. Goes into his Magiarna, and I Focus Blast turn 1. I should have countered because I could have actually gotten a kill here. Actually, not this turn. The next turn when he goes for the Corkscrew Crash. That would have killed then if I would have went for the thing. Because I think actually it does. I think it stays special, even though it looks like it's a physical type move. So I'm not really sure. I probably should have stayed for that. If we would have rolled a little bit higher, maybe got the special defense drop on the first one, we could have won. But you know, I'll take that for my first battle against a fairy type team where I got some hacks against me. All right, up next against Nico VGC Monotype. We have another bug type team to fight here. This was in the tournament now. I think this was like round 2. The round 1, I think the guy just didn't play. Actually, I think I did. I just destroyed him, so it wasn't really worth sharing. Scizor, Scolipede, Buzzwole, Gallespod, Armaldo, and Volcarona. Obvious leads here. Gallespod, Scolipede, pretty obvious there. Maybe Scizor if you turn out the Choice Band set or Mega Set. Goes for the first impression, takes us out straight up. So that kind of sucks, but he said he comments 5 Legendarios. He's Spanish. He says, really? I'm like, well, that's what Psychic runs. What do you want us to do? But he has Sucker Punch here, so it's kind of sucky that I can't really go for anything like that. So I actually switched to Mew, get a nice Predict there. Go for a Nasty Plot here, and he actually switches. I thought maybe he'd go for another one there, but we get a free chance to special attack boost up. Goes for the Quiver Dance here, which kind of sucks. I have been popping my Z move here, and even with that, it actually takes it out, which is pretty good. And we got our Psychic Terrain up. He was a huge boost early game. Goes into his Armaldo, that takes that out too. I thought maybe he would tank or something like that. I don't know why he went to that, not just Scizor outright. But I actually Dark Pulse here does about half, and then he Sword Stances, and this is where the fight just pretty much ends. He goes for the Bull Punch. That doesn't work in Psychic Terrain, so bam. He kind of blew it there. He probably should have went for the U-turn, turn 1. It probably would have killed Mew, honestly. Leech Life almost kills me, and we go for the Psychic and take that out as well. He's down to just 2 things left here. I end up kind of just sacking off Mew here. He actually has a sub, I guess, to get some speed up here, so it kind of worried me a little bit there. I wasn't really sure what my next play was going to be afterwards, because he'd be so fast, maybe he could sub, and I was missing a lot. Like, this was like after some of those fights where I was getting a lot of hacks against me, so I was kind of worried. Okay, I'm probably going to miss like the V-Creator, I'll miss the Bolt Strike, or I'll miss Alakazam. I guess Alakazam would go for Psychic and whatnot, but he ends up getting speed up there, and he goes for the Earthquake and takes us out. Luckily, he doesn't have a sub up. I made sure of that. As long as that was up, I wasn't too worried. I can go in the Latios here, and I Draco Meteor turn 1 to kind of like predict. I probably should have went right for the Psychic instead, but I thought maybe we go for the Style Kill, even though I was getting some hacks against me. He subs here, so I kind of predicted making him do that. I go for the Psychic. Okay, he can just kind of kill me though if he has the Bug type move, but I don't think he does because he has Protect, Sub, and Earthquake as his other moves. I was kind of surprised, why don't you have like a bug type move? But whatever, he doesn't have one. He ends up sacrificing his Scolipede, and then he goes down to his Gallespod, and that's basically game. The thing's not going to see through our whole team. Obviously takes out Latios with the first impression, and then that's gone. We go to the Victini, and we go for he goes for the Aqua Jet, does a little under half, and we go for the Bolt Strike. Takes down to 14% HP, but we still had our Alakazam afterwards, if it really mattered. Ended up coming to that. We do finish off with Victini though, is able to clutch out the game. He's our closer, and we end up winning, moving on to the tournament. Let's go to the next game. Alright, up against Final Flash 24 here. I don't think we fought this guy before. I think we fought someone whose name was similar. But we have a Dragal, Hydreigon, Gudra, Latios, Nivali, or Silvally, and a Altaria. Actually ends up not being Mega Altaria, which is kind of weird. Maybe just a Mega Evolve. I don't know. So Deoxys here, I light screen and try to tank. Tank about 30% HP left. We get a chance to set up Stealth Rocks. Not super helpful against his team, but maybe he kind of wastes a turn going for Defog or something. on his Latios. I don't know, it can buy us an extra turn. We weren't going to do much else there. Focus Blast actually doesn't take him out, and we get down to about 18% HP. We're able to take him out with the Focus Blast next turn. I wasn't risking going for the Shadow Ball there. It was right around kill range. It wasn't exact. But I think I actually would have done last because it's not as high base power. So we actually had to go, and we got lucky hitting 2 Focus Blasts in a row. We actually go for a Shadow Ball here and fast. It only does about half his HP though. He goes for the Thunderbolt and takes us out. Our late screen has 2 turns left, so I'm not too worried about switching in here. Going to Victini, and he goes into his Gudra, so basically sacking off his Gudra in a sense. I did U-turn thinking, okay, that could probably kill me, get some nice momentum up. Get a free chance to go in the Latios here with Psychic. I didn't want a Draco Meteor. He ends up going for the Dragon Pulse on us. That's about 39%. So I actually Draco Meteor here, but I miss. So that kind of sucks. I don't want him going to like his Latios or Altaria and setting up after this. So I really don't want to have to drop a Draco, but I kind of had to there. We do die off, however, now, so that is nice. It's kind of nice we missed the first one actually. So that actually ended up helping a little bit. Although he actually goes into Silvally, but he might win to his Altaria if he didn't otherwise. Thunder Waves our Mew here, but we synchronize and paralyze him as well. Super helpful. And we actually go for a Z move here, and obviously this will take out Silvally at +2. And we have Psychic Terrain up, so obviously he doesn't have much that's going to go for priority. Goes into his Altaria though, and Dragon Claws, obviously not going to take us out. We Ice Beam, that takes that out. It's down to just Latios now, and unless some unfortunate turn of events happens, it's not going to matter. He goes for the Draco and drops the special attack, so unless he gets 2 crits now in a row, he's not going to win. I say GG, probably a little too early, but we U-turn here, and then take him out. So that's the end of that fight. We actually have one more fight for you guys here today, so let's go check that out. Let's just move right over to it. Against Fallacious Films, I'm pretty sure I fought this guy before and uploaded a fight of it, but he has a Magiarna, Exegil, Scizor, Skarmory, Heatran, and Ferrothorn. Pretty typical defensive Steel-type team with like a Scizor and Magiarna to the sweep. Pretty good offensive core. Startup people, Exegil, Skarmory. Pretty good options. Even like Heatran and Ferrothorn usually switch in options off turn 1. Goes into Scizor right away, and we make a bad play here, taunting, thinking I just didn't want him to Sword Dance. He actually ends up U-turning, which really sucks. Now down to 13% HP. Goes into a Skarmory. I do taunt again, thinking, okay, I do not want Stealth Rocks being set up. I don't want to fall behind a Steel type team. We reflect there. Crit obviously doesn't matter. And now we have a Reflect up, able to go into our Victini here, and I trick onto the Skarmory, giving it a Choice Scarf and taking its Rocky Helmet. It Brave Birds here. I was kind of worried about Heatran coming in, and giving a Heatran Choice Scarf isn't super helpful and whatnot, but now I'm able to switch my moves, which I think is a little bit better against types that's like Steel that are defensive. So against Steel types, do trick a lot on Victini, because then you can switch your options up here. Break his Air Balloon on Heatran, although it doesn't really help my team too much, but we end up not boosting his special attack. Going to Latios there off the U-turn, super helpful. And we get a free chance here to Draco Meteor the Skarmory. It still does good damage against it, and we're able to take it out next turn, obviously, after we luckily hit again. You shouldn't be lucky to hit again with 2 Dracos, but we are lucky enough to hit him again, knock on wood, for the next time I fight. Magiarna comes out here. I'm pretty willing to let Latios die here. He ends up Z-moving, and I kind of wasted Twinkle Tackle. I guess he maybe thought I would switch into something else, but now he does get a boost up. We're able to go into Victini here, and we missed the Bolt Strike, which really hurts. His now Flora Cannon comes out. We get only about 25% HP. I could have sworn his Heatran was coming in. I kind of said YOLO. I thought I was going to lose at this point. I thought, okay, if he goes into Heatran, who cares? Go for the V-Create. He goes into it now. I do switch into Mew, kind of not sacking it off, but letting it take the brunt of the damage. I wanted to keep Victini alive because it's going to do well against Heatran. And if his Extra wasn't Choice Scarf, I thought it could outspeed. I did kind of think it would be a speed set, though. We do Dark Pulse the Heatran here. And my brother Hefty Haircross is actually in chat. Come on, Ash. There has to be some way you can win this. Inside joke, we can spin out a little bit, but you guys can't see that. U-turn finishes our Mew off. However, now he does have to switch out into his Exegil, giving us a free chance to go into Jirachi here. I kind of sacked this thing off just to see if it was like Choice Scar, like a Life Orb set or not. We can't really tell. Drain Punch comes out, does a good bit of damage to him. And Earthquake finishes us off. We end up going to Alakazam here. I really was scared the thing was Focus Sash. Not Focus Sash. It could have been Focus Sash. I thought it was Choice Scarf though. We were able to take it out, and I thought, okay, now we can actually win this. Not win this. I thought we were going to lose to the Scizor here, but here we go into Victini here. And Bullet Punch comes out, gets it down to 9% HP. He's down to 46 as a Rocky Helmet. We would have probably died otherwise, because we get down to 1% HP. Actually, no, we don't. We don't take any recoil damage. I don't took recoil damage. We're on the 9% HP. He protects, but his obviously his Thorns won't activate when that happens. We do take him out with V-Create. He dies first. We actually end up winning this fight, coming back from like a 4-2, 4-1 situation, 3-1 situation. So Victini comes up big even without this Choice Scarf in the end. He's able to outspeed some of his threats. I was really surprised when Bullet Punch Scizor didn't kill from like what 25. He probably could have He actually he couldn't check to other different moves because even without Choice Scarf, I am faster than Scizor. So we actually ended up winning that fight when I didn't think we would. But Psychic did a lot better than I thought it would towards the end. You started like actually learning the plays and whatnot, what's gonna kill and whatnot. And how do you take advantage like Mew's Psychic Terrain and whatnot. It's a hard type to learn, but I think it's definitely really rewarding when you're able to win like fights like this, make some nice plays towards the end and whatnot, and then end up winning. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, if you want to battle me on Showdown, hit me up. I've been battling some people actually. I battled 2 or 3 different people like multiple times in the past week or so. Now that I'm done work for the next like 2 weeks or so, in the next week or so before I go back to school. And even during school, I'll be on like 2 or 3 times a week to play for like 2 hours or so. I'm going to continue uploading during the school year and whatnot, but we'll worry about that a little bit later. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, head over to our channel for more content. We have plenty more besides just this video. We hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.